Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. That's what you should be seeing on your screen there. Let's drop our intro, hang out a little bit. Monday, day off, shop closed. What is up, y'all? Mic check 1 2 1 2 3 4. How do we sound? Sounds like that little hissing sound went away. Can't guarantee my throat though. Just had a sesh. Cheers to everyone out there. What's up, Blazer? Coming in first place. Then we got Roger in second. And Laura, third place. What's up? I haven't been here in a while. I forgot where you're located. You're in California, right? Yeah, we're in SoCal today. We're in sunny Southern California, Los Angeles. Urso, aloha. Welcome on in. Yeah, we're going to hang out a bit today. We got the day off. Yeah, shop is closed, but we're still going to promote it. Yeah, sky's the limit. Smoke shop, 3925 East Los Angeles. Tap in. Just not on Mondays. You can still reach out to us. Roger says, "Hush, Blazer. What's going on? What's Blazer doing? He's screaming." Y'all following each other today? That's funny. Yeah, we were hanging out earlier over at the Cryptid Huntress's channel with Barry Littleton. Yeah, you guys were there, right? I don't know if Blazer was. Maybe he was lurking. I'm not sure, but what was the show about over there? I forgot. Brought the president and the aliens again, and all right, I do have a drink nearby. You see, you can hear my voice changing a bit there. It's getting dry on me already. It happens. So yeah, we're gonna get into a little Bigfoot. I have no set. I mean, I guess I do, but it's all over the place. We're gonna see how this is gonna flow on this stream here. You never know. So far, so good. What up, crazy Javier? And don't worry about the goal that was created there. We just put that out just as a social media testing experiment. And yeah, right before this, I was thinking all these things like, oh yeah, we could talk about this, that, and that, and that. And it's funny, once you go live, all that kind of goes out the window. I did take a few notes, so we will check that out in a bit. Yeah, I figured maybe get into some of the typical Bigfoot databases we get into online and maybe letting you all that out there choose maybe a location. We'll work something out. Maybe like the first person, we'll go into a database and then we'll see the first person in chat who would like maybe a particular area. We could find a report from that area, bring it up, and read it. Sharon, what's up? Let me hop in the chat over here. SNX Radio, what's going on? Cheers to you. I see you're going to be on with Paranormal Paul, correct? Am I right? I think I set my notification for that. When is that for? Is that the 25th? When is that coming up? Hopefully it's not tonight. Hopefully it's not like right now. I did check to see if anyone was live. I think someone was premiering something. Garrow calls shotgun. All right, let's see. Is this it? There you go, Garrow. I did post a link at the top of the chat. I don't know if it's still there or if you could still find it. But yeah, anyone's welcome to hop on. Yeah, I figured let's go to different databases. We'll choose a state, a county, and then a report. So, what up, Chiro Sounds? You know, I all of a sudden in my feed got a video from Chiro Sounds here in the chat. Yes. Anyone not subscribed, and if you love music, and if you love nature and good vibes, I recommend you subscribing because I got a video from your channel and it was, I think, 5 years ago. And it's you doing the hand pan and it's at almost at 10K views. It was like 9.5, I believe. Yeah, I was like, "What the heck? Why are you all of a sudden showing me this video?" But I was surprised, and it was a cool thumbnail. You're sitting there with the hand pan and everything. Yeah, I was like, "Heck yeah!" There. Oh, I see. Blazer MT. Look at him. He just likes when I do this. Can't believe you, Blazer. 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11 11. And look at that, there's one thumb up and one comment in the chat too, another 11 there. Appreciate you, Blazer. We got and no pressure. I already texted you, I talked to you about something, and Midwest Night Watchers as well. Anytime you see me do this, I'm not only saying hello, but I'm reactivating my camera because sometimes I'll do gestures with my hands and it deactivates my camera. So right now, it should be able to follow me. See, look who's behind me. Got an eyeball at the bottom of him or tucked in his armpit. He's got an eyeball in his armpit too, looking at you also. Watch out. That's his third eye. Howdy, Hillbilly Herb. All right. So now we are set. It's well before 420 here, and we got Hillbilly Herb in the chat. So this is perfect. It's a beautiful day out here. I heard about the blizzard out east. So sending warm vibes to everybody out there. I don't think we have, we can't do the snow, but can we do the bad weather? Come on, camera. Camera's like, I don't know. Supposed to do little effects for us. How do you get your things to go on cue, Chi? And look at that, it deactivated again. I'm giving you a thumbs down, double thumbs down, camera, for not being on point. I think the camera just likes to see me look silly. Yeah. We're gonna activate you again. I was trying to make it rain. I guess I ain't got enough money for that. Can't make it rain up in the chat. Come on, Blazer just gave us 1111, bro, and it's been like several times. So much love to you, Blazer. We appreciate your support, and I got you, brother. Thumbs down. How about thumbs up? Let's see. Maybe it's not just maybe we didn't activate. Let's see here. We have a quick look at something. Yeah, everything's on point. Whatever, camera. I'll check in with you in a bit. 360's acting crazy. Let's see. Blazer MT saw a beauty one saunter down the street midday a couple days ago. Is that the fox you captured, Hillbilly? Hillbilly captured a fox on game cam, I think it was. What's Chi laughing at? Oh, Chi. If Chi's laughing, there's something going on. P&W Rush. What up, bro? Hopefully you're doing well. Enjoying all the videos you've been posting, man. Keep posting, bro. Keep doing your thing. And I've seen some of those videos are getting quite a bit of views. And that collab with Bigfoot Fades, good stuff there too. Yeah, we're gonna be linking up hopefully soon. You know, there's a few people I'm still asking people out there, and hopefully P&W and Rush will be hopping on here at some point. And he's got a buddy named Glenn. I know that's not me. I'm his other buddy named Glenn now. But hopefully we get to meet Glenn, and we'll set that up, and that'll be for a Sunday. So some Sunday, you know, usually I'm working Sundays. Mondays are my day off. But we could always, you know, schedule in with bro, maybe have bro cover me, and we could do that from the shop. Yes, fades is awesome. And I mentioned out here, what up, 42? What is it? 42 1BB4? It's funny. Fades out here is one of the latest slang terms for either fighting or get beaten up. Back in the day, it used to be faded, right? When you're baked, lit, stoned, became faded. So that always comes to mind too. But you know, if you know her profession, we won't mention it here. That also ties perfectly with her profession too, because there's people that look for that style. Anyway, Matt Paximus, hey, hey, what up, brother? Welcome on in. We're gonna just chill out, see where the ship takes us. The stream is flowing. Darn, I forgot to put a title on. Oh, I guess I could still do it while I'm here, but whatever. And yeah, let's check out. It's crazy. So blizzard out east. Y'all be safe and warm. I've heard about Long Island and some neighboring states. Hopefully you're keeping warm and don't have to do much. Like, what do you do during a blizzard? I see Steve Stockton. We're gonna get into some missing person stuff here. Eventually, we'll get into some other quick little business, get into these reports, and then get into a little bit of some missing persons cases. I know some of you are into that. So again, people, no pressure. Feel free to kick back, chill. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Let's see. What was I gonna pull up? The weather. Yes. Check this out. So today, almost 80 right now, if you could believe that. And recently we just had some storms come through. and hit Cali pretty good. It looks like Northern California is getting rain. I was checking out the live feed in the redwoods we usually pull up, and I seen some droplets in the river there, the Smith River swelling up. So, and that's always needed. But out here, can you believe we switched up now? So we were having rain and stuff last week. The mountains got snow. We had that tragic incident up in Northern California with the avalanche. And even out here in Southern California, the mountains have gotten snow out here. And I haven't been, so you could check out the roll call of the local towns, most of them out of Northern California, some SoCal towns there. So Death Valley, where it usually gets, I think they have the hottest record. Is it on the planet? Has anyone topped that? I think it held the for a long time. It probably still might be. I forget what the temp was, but yeah, right now it's just 73. But so it's warmer out here right now. And today I went to go went to go pick up my niece and drop off my nephew. They go to the same university, which isn't far. And I took a couple snaps because from there you could see the mountains really nice. Let's see, is that sharing? I gotta make the screen a little smaller there. Boom. All right, so that's a view of the mountains that I usually talk about right behind us, the San Gabriel Mountains, the Angeles National Forest. And that's one view. And you could see, I think that's going to be possibly around the area of Mount Wilson, as I could see some towers. That might be the Mount Wilson towers and maybe some of the right there. uh, some of the observatory stuff, possibly. And who knows? And if I'm wrong, then Mount Wilson is more over this way. But check out this. Where are you? Let's see, can I skip picture this way? It's going to be the same mountain range, I believe. San Gabriel's also, but just a different mountain peak. And check that one out. Completely snow covered for the moment, but maybe after yesterday was pretty warm too. But and same I took the picture from the same spot, just had it turned to the side a little bit. And yeah, check that. I was like, whoa. And you could see the tops of it when I'm driving to work and stuff, driving to the shop. I get a nice little view of them as well. And so, yeah, you could go get up there, go skiing. I'm sure somewhere up there. Yeah, pretty view, huh, Juliana? Welcome on in, Juliana. Are you getting rain up there? Give us your because Humboldt County is got its different microclimate. So depending on where you're at in the county, probably getting different weather. So I'm curious to know because I was just mentioning the Smith River up in Del Norte. Looks like the live feed looks like they're getting rain up there. Boom. All right, just a view of the local mountains there, and I'm sure that that mountain's probably higher in elevation than where Mount Wilson is. So maybe that's why they got the snow, or maybe it's a different mountain range. Is it the San Bernardinos? Nah, I doubt it. Ooh, who's near ESETI? And I seen you're gonna have SNX Radio. You're gonna have James back on, right? Did that show pass already, or is that coming up? Feel free to post links, folks. Y'all already know. Y'all know the deal. All right. So let's see. Let's get into some Bigfoot. I did mention, so we're going to be pulling up different databases. And for instance, this one, Bigfoot Mapping Project, I always like to pull this one up first, like that. And we've read pretty much all the latest reports. So a big thank you to them for letting us check that out. And so I've been scanning, checking out other countries. The other day we touched on this Australian report down here. Still haven't heard from my Aussies. I read one for y'all. Y'all want to hear more? Look, there's a bunch there, bunch of yellow ones. So I think those are older historical reports. Y'all want to hear them? Let me know. Anyway, so Mali, for some reason, over here in Africa, has been popping up green, and right around the same spot too. Dropped the Sqautch, and it's been happening several times. So I don't know if it's a glitch in the website or not, but let's see. You're gonna drop it a little more, and you can see there's another red sat Sqautch right there. And I believe we read that one, and I'll tap on it just in case. But they've been popping up right there at that same spot. And when they pop up, it doesn't when I first noticed it, that particular report, I mentioned something about Illinois. I think there was something about it that made me think Illinois. So I was like, oh, maybe it got for some reason placed here. And I don't know how it works when you submit a report here, but just a little heads up. And then we've read, I think I want to say two other reports from this exact Mali spot. So, and I don't think they're African reports. It could be a glitch again in the website. And yeah, this one we read last as well. Super cool. I think the Sqautch got outlined when I clicked it there. Uh all right, all aboard. We got the train coming by. Yeah, we got a train going by out here, folks. Can you hear that? Yeah, so this report, I'm familiar. I'm pretty sure we read this. It looks familiar. And I think it was out of BC. So I see something BC. Get your tickets, get your pets, get your luggage all aboard. So anyway, I recently noticed that it popped up green again. And so I figured, hey, you know what? Let's read this report, see what it says. Might not be African, but it's something. So we'll check that out. And it says date and time of sighting 10/6/23, 2:49, not 2:48, not 2:47, not 2:50, 2:49. It says height 10 feet and a male. He must have seen something. Blazer. And it did vocalize. So I wonder what it sounded like. Maybe they'll let us know in the description here. It says describe your encounter. And so I don't know if this was maybe part of a previous submitted report. Maybe it's an add-on to that BC one we're just pulling up right now, but it just starts off as I forgot to mention when he talked to me, he did it by his mind. So I'm thinking, what is some mind speak going on here? So he did it by his mind to my mind. He spoke his thoughts and I heard him, and he could hear my thoughts as well. S- Pretty freaky. I couldn't get over the fact he could travel 10 miles as fast as I could drive it. I posted this experience on the BFRO website, but they never posted it. So I'm super curious to see, yeah, maybe it's I don't know what other, right? It sounds like a report that's it's part of a missing report. Where's the rest of this? Seems like there's more to it. So I don't know. Anyone out there, maybe let us know in the chat in the comments later. Hmm. We've gotten some weird ones here on this website before. It says black and brown. So that does describe it. Uh, yeah. Who knows? Kind of weird, but yeah. Mentioning the BFRO, which we're gonna pull up next. Or unless someone wants. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Can you believe it? It is either someone playing a joke in the chat, or we might have a possible fresh report here as we're live. Look at that. This just lit up here over in California. What up, Genocide? Atlantis in the desert. Is that a new resort? Is that a new resort in Vegas, Juliana? Is there an Atlantis? Genocide. Cheers, brother. Hope you're enjoying your day. And I see Richard made it finally. What's up, Richard? New report popping up here, and it looks like out of Cali. It's looking like Southern Cali. Is someone playing a joke on us here? You know we love these California reports, and we're here now. Looks like maybe the Sierras again. We're dropping the Sqautch here. Wow, this is super cool. Appreciate that, Lord. Uh that's never really happened that fast. We've gotten reports like that where we're doing a live stream and I check one of the databases, either BFRO or Bigfoot Mapping Project here, uh and it happens a lot after a stream too. Like I'll be done with a stream and I'll check the database again, and all of a sudden there's a report. I was like, dang it. But this happened I think for the BFRO where we were live and we got one in. So it's super cool that it popped up like that and I didn't have to like refresh the page or anything. Yep. Sierra National Forest. And we're going to be coming up to this part actually more towards the coast of California here in a bit. If you hang with us, I did mention getting into some missing persons reports. And wow, look at all those squatches around the Sierras there. Let's drop the Sqautch a little more. See if any Bass Lake. Anybody? I have not been there. Old Corral, Oakhurst. That kind of rings a bell. Where'd he go? There you are. All right. I might be clicking on diamonds here. Let's see. What's this? It's showing some plants. That's what these little diamonds and stuff here. I'm trying to get to the Sqautch. Let's see. I guess I got to drop it all the way down. There you are. There he be. And what is this? Looks like some openings there. All right. Oh, wow. Look at the date and time on that. Here we go again. Where's my Here we are. 11/11, 11/11, 11/11, 11/11, 11/11, 11/11. Yeah, 25. So last year, November. Interesting time there. I'm very interested in those dates, those early anyone who's a Scorpio. Shout out to my Scorpios out there. Scorpio. Oh, yeah. And it did vocalize right on. It says we were hiking and I started seeing tree breaks. Good eye. I looked around where the tree breaks were at and found a footprint. Nice. So what? A single footprint? A couple of footprints? Was it an act? Did you see toes, or was it just an impression? I want to know, and I think it's time for the giant red pencil. Let's see here. It says, I found a footprint. Then we had the loudest Ohio howl. Who does not know what the Ohio howl is? If you don't, you can look it up. And I believe over on the BFRO, which we're going to hop over to next, they have a recording there. I don't know if it's still available, but you can look it up on YouTube. And it's an amazing piece of audio. I think it's legit. Sounds almost like a, people describe it as a siren. I could hear that air raid siren. Um, Also, I believe the guy behind the BFRO, which is Matt Cha-Ching Moneymaker, um, which is we'll probably be bringing it up in a bit here. Yeah, he's the one who captured the Ohio Howl, right? Or am I wrong? Someone check me on that. And it's good to, this is good for our Bigfoot 101, things we should know, certain vocalizations, Ohio Howl, classic stuff. And yes, I think we've talked about that not too long ago that he captured that. So interesting. So the Ohio Howl followed by one farther away. So maybe there were two. There were four of us on that hike, and we all heard them. Wow. Well, could it have been someone call blasting, doing some squatching out there? You always got to keep that in mind, right? No wood knocks, and yeah, I'm interested in the footprint, maybe the size. Could have gave us maybe some more details on that, but there we go, fresh, freaky, freaky. See, could we scratch here? Yes, we could. Yeah, it's weird. My audio stuff has been working here, but not at the shop. It's weird. I was thinking, SoCal Squatcher said it. Oh, I didn't. And it's interesting that you bring that up. It's not the first time I've heard that. Uh, and I do have a picture with him. I have met him. We brought that up. It was the whole gang was there. Finding Bigfoot gang was there. And I'll bring this up briefly because someone had asked me recently, I forget who it was, someone in the chat was like, do I check out uh what is it? Howtohunt.com, Steve Isdall. And I shared, and yeah, it had been a little while. Sometimes I follow for a minute. I'll go on these little trips and then follow up on all his videos. Then I'll fall off for a bit, and I'm all over the place. I like to check everybody out, and there's a lot of crazy people in this. Yes, we bring that up. It's the Bigfoot Arena is a circus. Whether or not you consider yourself part of what they call a community or whatever, however you want to put it. Yeah, there's a lot of trippy people in this, and there's crazy people all over the world. It's a people thing, and we brought that up also with the recent article. You remember this article? Let's see. Sorry, let's zoom out for a bit here. And so, if anyone wants to check out a report on this particular database, or you know what, let's skip over to BFRO. Let's see. Someone choose a state and county, and the first person to do it will check out that area and see if we can find a report, and we'll read it. So, someone keep an eye out in the chat and let us know who gets the first place there. So there was an article we brought up. Let's see, where was it? It was an article from last week. Where are you? That ain't it. Right here. You remember this one? And we scanned through it because it was interesting. It was about these guys. So it ain't no unicorn. Meet the researchers who've interviewed 130 Bigfoot hunters, or is it Bigfooters? There's Patty. And for the structure people, I like to point this out too. People have brought up uh, a lot of times when there's sightings and stuff like that, when people have captured timestamps and different things, that there'll be some sort of structure in the background, right? Which is an interesting thing. Something to take note of. That's in my notes. And anyone notice the X right behind Patty over here? I know some of you have noticed and have brought it up also, but yeah, there's a huge, people could call it ground X, and it's no longer there. I haven't, I didn't notice it the times that I've gone, but yeah, that looks like a pretty flush X, and it's interesting that she's like flush with it down here. Something to take note of. I know my structure people love it. Other structure, non-structure loving folks are like, dude, get out of here, bro. But anyway, yeah, this was a interesting article. I didn't get through it completely yet, and I talked about who was it, folks, that was gonna make a documentary about all the different bunch of different Bigfooters and the psyche of these people. I want to watch that. Anyway, let's hop on over to BFRO here. What's up, Lori? All right, Lori came to hang out for a bit too. Cool. Let's see. I try to drop a picture in a chat. I guess I can't do that, but Amador is beautiful tonight. Is that where you're at in Cali? Yeah, no, I don't think we could do that yet. So you could drop a what you could do is you could share in my posts in my channel. And I haven't talked about this lately. And I usually bring it up on every on every stream because it's a cool feature that I think people aren't really taking advantage of on YouTube. But if you go to the post section, I guess I am kind of ready for a few things today. We're flowing a little smoothly with the shares here. Thank goodness. I usually scramble all over the place. So you see this where am I? Give it a second. So this is the post section here. There. Now I can see it on the monitor. Posts. So if you go to that section, or it might say community on your end. I don't know how it looks like, but this is how it looks when I bring it up. You could share pictures, links, and I forget. It's weird. I remember a couple years back, I was able to post like it was almost like a GIF. So it was almost like it was, and it was showing like video. And someone had asked me, and I wonder what happened to this person. I won't mention them. They're like, "How'd you post a video in the posts?" I was like, "I don't know. It just did it for me." And I was trying to remember how I did that. It was kind of weird. And I had seen other people posting like it was like short little videos in the post section also. But anyway, who knows? So yeah, you could share anything you'd like there, and then you could tag people, hashtags, and all that stuff. I recommend it. A couple of people have done it here. I wish people would do it more. Yeah, if you got pictures of like tracks, timestamps, or just anything else, you know, we do more than Bigfoot here. UFOs, you got ghost pictures or something, some paranormal anomalies. Bring it. So back to BFRO. Did anyone choose a state? Let's see. Lincoln County, Oregon. I see Richard say that. Is that the only one? And Richard said Steve was good today. Yeah, I saw it was a UFO up in Sasquatch Island, Vancouver Island. I didn't check out the video yet, but I'll be checking that out. And that's interesting because yeah, UFO activity. Vancouver Island's known for its Bigfoot activity, and I'm sure there's a ton, and I know there is, of UFO stuff going on up there as well. So put that in your notes. Let's see. So is it Lincoln, Oregon? Did Richard win? No one wants to play our game here. It's all good. Let's see. El Dorado, California, El Dorado County, said SoCal Squatcher. Montana Lake County. All right. So we'll do, let's see. Whoops. Let's get back in the chat. Let's scroll up a little bit. Let's see. Can we find. I can barely chat. It says Richard, but you wanted Lincoln County, Oregon, and then El Dorado. We could do a few. Oh, you're in the Emerald Triangle. Yeah, right on. I miss it so much. We'll be back soon. soon, hopefully. At some point. So let's do this Lincoln, Oregon one for Richard. I think that was Richard that said that. Or someone said it. And we did do one. Not that I want to say we mentioned Lincoln not too long ago. There isn't any, bro. Ha. How about that? According to BFRO. So if you have an encounter at a Lincoln, Oregon, let us know. I want to. But yeah, so the report was mentioning not having their report. They had submitted a report. So the Bigfoot Mapping Project, the report we just read not too long ago, just a few minutes ago, was saying they had submitted their report also to the BFRO, but they never posted it. So we recently, and I had known about this, and I'll bring it up again because we'd like to break records here. And we got to break the records for people who haven't been tapped in a minute. The BFRO doesn't put out all their submitted reports. So they have I heard it's an extensive catalog of reports that the public doesn't get to see because of whatever reason. I don't know. And I've been questioning. I was like, so what qualifies a report to get it posted to the public? Like what makes them say like, all right, yeah, let's let the public check this one out. We'll post this one. Because I would love to have access to all those other reports, right? But then again, maybe they don't want to burn those spots. Maybe some of those reports want to stay anonymous, maybe their locations, because they do share the coordinates and everything there. So we're gonna try. What's up, Blazer? Montana Lake County. All right, let's do that. Montana, Tony Montana, man. Let's see. Where is Montana? There you are. Yeah, I'd like to check out Montana sometime. I'd like to check out all the states and the rest of the planet. I know some of you out there are well traveled. Let's see. Where is Lake? None there either, bro. Look at that. Looks blank. And again, like we're saying, so those reports that aren't put out to the public, we've recently found out through that Flash of Beauty video that they call, was it flats is what they call them. And so maybe it is that there is reports in these places, but they're just not available to the public. So you got to keep that in mind also. So don't feel sad uh if you don't see any reports from your county. Anyway, what's next? Let's find a county that has some reports, people. And sorry if I missed your request. Feel free to put it in there. Blazer sharing the Ohio How link there. Appreciate you, Blazer. One of the best moderators out there. Blazer, when you gonna come on back? This time it's a must that we hang out. All right, let's see. That's because no one talks. Oh, all right, gotcha. Wow, interesting. Snitches get Sqautch stitches. Damn. Whoa. All right. Sounds hella out here you'd say hood, but up there it sounds hella wood out there, bro. Oh wow. Let's see. They aren't doing subject justice by leaving out information, says SoCal Squatcher. Yeah, and you know what? And that's gonna be this would be a good segue to what I want to get into. And it sucks because it's drama because I've been sensing some drama every so often, and there's always drama in this. There's drama everywhere, right? You can find it anywhere. Easy to find. 2 minutes to 4:20. I'd never give them a statement. I'm not the only one. People who do are probably a tad ignorant on the platform censoring, says Juliana. Yeah, Juliana will let you have it too. I know a lot of you are very outspoken too. I got to think about what I'm going to say, right? Especially here, this is like public and all that. So, but I know I sense things sometimes, and I don't like drama. I don't want drama. There's enough smoke out there, and I'm not into that type of smoke either. So, y'all know what I like. Um, that I grade. Talk to me, humble. Um, Yeah, but I noticed some things, and so someone had recently asked if I had checked out Isdall, and I was like, I tap in and out every so often, and I respect him. I respect him as a man, and whatever he does his way, and he's a hunter as well. So, dude, you got to give it up to him. He's got his shit together. At least that's what it seems like, right? And at first, he came off like his attitude is strong. It's very alpha male. Let me go warm up the volcano. Yeah, you doing those vape hits. That's a healthier way of ingesting it. I never got one of those, but yeah, that's super cool that you do it that way. Much respect. Actually, I don't know if Smoke and Scan, we always bring him up. He covers all the high speed chases, and we're keeping an eye out. It's 420, folks. Light them up. Where's Hillbilly Herb at?
Hillbilly Herb to the chat.
Yeah, cheers, everybody. Yeah, hotbox the chat. Um, Now I'm thinking of packing one. No, I lost my place. I was saying something, and we're getting into Isdall and all that. And so, yeah, I respect him. At first, he came like I felt a certain. I was like, dude, who is this dude? And whatever he does his thing. He reads reports. He gets tons of reports sent into him, and which brings me up to another uh topic recently brought up. It was, I think, yesterday, maybe even. Let's see here. Let's check out our shares over in the posts. And I love sharing other channels and people, related things. Here we have shout out to Stacy Brown. Never met him. I've, heard about him and his pops, and I love that thermal footage, and people have questioned that, and it looks legit to me. And his vibe too, he reminds me very much. I got a uh homeboy Slother. That's his graph name. He's an awesome street artist, and he's the California version of Stacy Brown Jr. Uh, and he's had that, a beard, but not that long. And so even with the beard, but I don't think he has a beard these days. But yeah, same attitude. I get the same vibe. Reminds me very much of him. Told my brother that he had a laugh. But yeah, red flags. Come on, let's see some red flags in the chat. In Bigfoot encounters. It was a good one. I think it was live call-in show. He's been doing his thing, going live, taking in calls, reports, doing work in his YouTube channel. So y'all check him out. It's been pretty active lately, and yeah, I've been sharing his stuff over here. And yeah, he's talked about his Bluff Creek experiences. He's had experiences out here in California, up in the Sierras, like we were just reporting that report. Very interesting guy there. And yeah, red flags in the Bigfoot game. In reports, he shared what he thought of the whole, people submitting reports, the amount of reports, and all that. And I agreed with a lot of what he had to say. So I recommend checking that out. Um, and also Isdal, so like he gets a bunch of emails and stuff like that. What percentage are true? Even when we check out these databases, you can't, you never know. But I just go by feeling. Maybe I take certain notes of things, and when I see those reoccurring themes, it kind of rings a bell. Red flags, and a red flag could be good or bad, in my mind. Um, and so yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, or we could dive right into it. We skip the Bigfoot reports, and we got the fresh ones in, and that's what we like. So I was gonna play the little game of y'all choosing a place because we didn't have any fresh ones in, but hey, we got that done. So let's get into this other stuff. So this was another share here. I wonder why they took it off, but it was about logging in Eastern Oregon. I don't know if anyone caught that. Looks like we got 4 thumbs up on that. So maybe 4 people checked it out, maybe more, who knows? But the video isn't publicly available now. And that was, I think I forget the news station. It's a Southern Oregonian news station, I believe, that covered that segment there. And I wonder why they removed it. But yeah, they were talking about 2 point something million acres that they want to log in I don't know if it's what part exactly of Eastern Oregon, if it's like southern eastern or just all of Eastern Oregon. Juliana or any of my Oregonians know anything about this? But I was like, probably not. But they mentioned, it could be for like wildfire like I don't know if prevention or what the right term is, but yeah, they were saying that um the mentioning of the wildfires, and but then again there's talk of the timber industry, right? They're gonna profit off of that. So I don't know. What do you think, Bigfoot? We should ask Bigfoot what they think about that. I don't know. I don't think Bigfoot will like it. And it seems like anytime there's reports of Bigfoot activity around logging operations. I mean, classic Bluff Creek, for example. Um, yeah. The chat freeze up. What's going on? Y'all frozen there? Y'all stuck because it's 4:20? Everyone went on break. Doesn't seem like my chat's moving. Oh, there we go. There's Gustavo. And then here's another link, some other news. Damn, Mexico popping off right now, folks. Yeah, prayers for folks out there. We got ties out there and we're very close, I mean, Southern California, Mexican borders right there. A lot of news coming from out there as they captured and killed, they said, El Mencho. Yeah, top let's see, top boss, capo, top capo, uh, for that, that one cartel. And is that true? Because we've heard that before, that where they supposedly had killed him or he was dying also due to bad health. I haven't seen any footage of any body or, and even that, them showing you a body could always come into question, but who knows? But there has been a reaction, and things are lit out there right now. So be careful, folks, if you're out that way or headed out that way. I don't know. Are they even letting people in? Wild. Yeah, man. A lot of stuff happening these days all over the planet is insane. Yeah, another one that's not being. I haven't heard too many people or too many channels. I would have thought there would have been more people maybe covering this or mentioning. But did someone get unalive at one of Trump's properties? Right? And Secret Service agents involved with that. So, and a bunch of other shares here. Yeah. Yep. Mike Wanders with another one. He covered the Gifford Pinchot. How do you pronounce it? Gifford Pinchot. Gifford Pinchot. Um, and if y'all into Bigfoot, you should know this place already. I've never been. I've heard a whole lot about it. There's a lot of strange missing persons cases out of there too. That's why it's up there on my list of things, of my list of places, mysterious places, squatchy places, strange places. You call it what you want, but yeah, Mike Wanders. So he hooked up with Shane Corson, right, of the Olympic Project. So that was cool. Did a link up there, and it was just a all out great video. They covered some vocalizations that Mike got a hold of, and there's a whole story behind the group, the vocalizations. They went to the area, and Shane's well experienced in that area as well. It was just all good. As far as the vocalizations that supposedly those guys captured, a lot of people in the comments I had seen weren't buying it. Said that it sounded too human. Hmm. I don't know. It sounded interesting for sure, but I could see how people could think that, but you never know. But it's a tough one, and definitely recommend that. And he's killing it over there on his channel, man. It's amazing. And also, speaking of Gifford Pinchot, for those that also may not be familiar with the area, actually, last week this article popped up again, and some of you may remember this. I remember this one. The two guys from Oregon. I think they were from Port. Yeah, two men from Portland who died of exposure in Washington. So how does that work? Because there's Gifford Pinchot on both sides of both states. Is that how it works? I gotta check that out on a map because I thought Gifford Pinchot was in Oregon. So it might be on both sides. Kind of like same deal with the Blue Mountains in Oregon, right? There's Blue Mountains on the Washington side of things and the Oregon side of things. So the Paul Freeman footage, was that on the Washington or Oregon side? It's one of those things I gotta get down for sure. I believe it was the Washington side, but then again, something tells me Oregon. We got to do trivia, Bigfoot trivia. Start doing a little trivia thing here with stuff like that, so we get that stuff down. So yeah, if you didn't hear about this, yeah, there was two guys, and that was around Christmas time, right? It was December, and very tragic incident. And this is Daily Express US. So they put, I don't know why they put this out last week. I checked it out to see if there was any other new information. I didn't seem to find any there. They just seem to be covering the case again. But then again, Double check me. And we know some people did cover this from the area, covered this in on their channels, um, which gave more insight on the case. They according to locals, they feel it's pretty mysterious. Most locals, and from what I heard on those documentaries, they feel it's very weird. So let's see here. Oh, there's a look at Smith River there. So is that what it's looking like up north? I don't know. Yes, the PNW, Lori. We'll do a quick little Sqautch watch while I have this up. Smith River Alliance, Save the Redwoods League. Explore.org. Let's see. Gifford Pinchot is Washington State, Mount St. Helens. All right. Thank you, bro. Major correction there. Thank you to PNW Rush. A little confused. Um. So yeah, Steve Isdall. We were bringing him up, and there it is. And again, I like to. Oh God, Lefty Gunplay. Let's get that guy out of here. Much respect, bro. But yeah, so I was checking out. I was backtracking since they had a viewer had a subscriber friend had asked me, and I was like, you know what? Let me catch up on some of his stuff since I was reminded. And and so I backtracked a bit, started getting into some videos, and there was one with an interesting title. And so I got into it, started from there, and made my way to some of the newer ones. But this one is titled Steve, Why Do You Bash Les Stroud and Finding Bigfoot? And so he goes in on that. And of course, a lot of people always bash Finding Bigfoot and, you know, whatever. They did what they did and it is what it is. And I respect everybody on there. Whatever. It's you could learn from everything. Right. And I enjoyed watching those shows as well. And but yeah, if you feel like you don't learn anything from it, you don't learn anything from it, you move on, right? Um, and yeah, they've even talked about Bobo. I've heard Bobo Cliff talk about what the deal was, and when you do those types of things, there's contracts, there's, different things behind scenes. And so yeah, Uh, and so his dog was getting into all that and explaining, and he threw some of his punches, and it was interesting uh to listen to. But then, yeah, he was also getting into some other things, and it was like people that are producing movies, and I guess films, movies, documentaries, and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting, and he had some words to say, and I was like, "All right, well, we could listen to it, and da, 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 da," but I'll just give you the timestamp where I left off. And I think it's 2140, and so it's after the Finding Bigfoot stuff and the Les Stroud. Like, I don't even think he was saying that he didn't remember ever bashing him or anything like that. And I know they're both Canadian, right? Both from BC. But anyway, so 2140, starts getting into other stuff, which was very interesting. And and some of it I agree with, some of it I don't, and it just makes you wonder. Certain people had came to mind because there had been certain things being said recently, and I was just like, dude, what is going on out here? It's like the circus is getting ramped up again, and so just a heads up, watch out. uh anyway, so yeah, P&W Rush, again, thank you for that correction, bro. Yeah, so you'll run into that, especially online. There's stuff, and this has been going on for a long time. They say even from the era of the Four Horsemen, which the old school Bigfoot researchers, there was a lot of drama going on then, and we hear about it now, and it's interesting, and it's not to like, oh, I think it's important to learn this stuff. It's history, her story, uh and then people, yeah, I know a lot of people are attracted to drama, even on different topics and stuff. But yeah, no, I think it's just going back again to the human element of things. I like to bring that up, and I hear more people bringing it up. Yeah, it's like it's not Bigfoot's problem. It's our issue, people. And so yeah, so check that out if you want to, hear what I've been hearing and kind of what we're talking about tonight. But anyway, we could switch gears to what's next. So I mentioned some missing persons cases, and we were just talking about posts. There was a few weeks back, there was a case that we heard over on Can-Am, and it was out of I think it was North Carolina, but it started maybe in another state. It was a guy and his dog had gone missing, and the missing picture I was questioning because he was wearing a red jacket, and according to DP David Politis and the whole missing 411 phenomenon, there was mentioning of possible cases where people wearing certain color clothing, especially bright color clothing. Yeah, probably not a good idea to go squatching in this, um, or going hiking. Yeah, that supposedly certain colors could attract certain things and cause you to go missing. And so it's weird. And I believe red was one of those colors. So I was questioning because right away, when I noticed the red jacket, I was like, dude, is that a picture of what this guy was wearing last? Because nowadays it it's a trip to see certain missing persons cases. A lot of them you'll have a picture of them, the actual day they went missing, like right. Some of them are like on the hiking trail that they went missing, and they have an actual picture from that day. So you have all the description, you have a current uh picture of what the person looked like right before whatever happened, right before they disappeared. So, and I'm sure that's all due to technology, phones, sometimes there's cameras up in places and stuff like that. Does that guy smoke weed? I can't put my finger on it, but something tells me he died. Wonder who that is. I don't know. Or is that his big bong in disguise? No, not sure what the chat's talking about. Oh, my pencil. You want a pencil like that? You could order one, Lori. Order it online. They got different colors. Check them out. I think different sizes too. So I'm rocking the worn out. I think the eraser's supposed to stick out a little more, but it's been flying out. Last time it flew out during a live, I flung it accidentally. Phew, flew, ricocheting all over the place. Yeah, keep an eye out for stuff like that. Blooper type stuff like that during my streams. Um, so where were we? Yeah, so are we getting into the missing people? Yes. So we're talking about missing persons and the red. And so I was questioning that guy's case, and I had brought up 2, 3 other cases. So I was questioning, was he wearing that red jacket when he went missing? And I think we didn't get any feedback on that, but I did share his picture with the red jacket plus 3 other, I think it was 3 other cases. One was off the top I knew, the inchworm was her hiking name. I think it was Geraldine Large. I forget her last name, but the inchworm. and she was wearing a red jacket, and she was found, I think it was like a couple years later after she went missing, but for a while there, she was on that missing 411 list. And then there was 2 other cases recently out of California that I knew right away that boom, they were wearing red, and they were, uh they had taken that picture right before they had gone on their hike, so they were fresh. I knew they were wearing red, and it said it in the reports, and one of them was an older one of them was one that I keep bringing up, and it's right here in these mountains that I was just showing earlier. The lady that worked for NASA, this happened last year, and she went hiking with friends and somehow didn't come back, which I find very, very weird. Like, no one saw nothing, no one heard nothing, and, so you could check that out. That's Monica Reza's case, and I believe she was, like, in her 60s. She was wearing a red long sleeve, shirt, and that happened here in Mount Waterman, and we'll leave that at that. I always bring up this other details because we had been nearby that area when, we got our thermal footage. But her case happened after about a year after that whole thermal incident, which I don't think has anything to do with anything, but there's a Devil's Canyon there, and, the road recently washed out in that area, so I don't even know if you could go into Waterman, uh, Mount Waterman anymore, but at least not for now, I don't think. So that came up, and then this older lady up closer to the I think it was in the Bay Area, and it was the same year. So I think this was 2025 or 24 when these cases happened. Um, and was never found. Elderly lady. She was hiking with her husband. It was her birthday, I believe. And yeah, nothing. It's like what? And then they got all the tech out there, the dogs, the whole nine. And I'm like, how far could she get? Why isn't anything found? It's really weird, but yeah, up at Mount Waterman says SoCal Squatcher. You know where exactly where I'm talking about. See, I went up there looking for her a couple weeks after she went missing. Wow. SoCal Squatcher, very interesting, bro. And have you heard of anything weird happening in that area before? Or what do you think happened there in that case? And I know that got sent to the homicide bureau. I think it's missing persons homicide now, but that was something they had pointed out, but I haven't heard any details about that. And I thought it was interesting that she worked for NASA. And NASA is located actually at the base of these mountains here, right here in Pasadena. And we talked about that case on the last stream this weekend about the was it an astrophysicist from Caltech, and I believe that's right in this area too, who was taken out by I think it was some dude who had previously like got broken into his property, and I don't know, it was weird, very weird. And he lived on the other side of the mountains in the desert. So yeah, I don't know. Is there something going on with these maybe these people having to do with space? We've heard about the series also on the 411 thing about very intelligent people, people with credentials. Some are scientists and stuff like that. The scientists that have gone missing, and yeah, it makes me wonder. But so yeah, she was one I brought up because she was wearing red as well. SoCal, I'll keep an eye out for any more comments, and that's super cool of you that you got out there and were able to search for her, man. I would like to get involved with something like that. And I know you could go to the local sheriff's office and find out. And Blazer's like screaming. Uh Put that screaming emoji for me, Blazer. What was it? And I know some of you that have gone out bigfooting with and are actually doing stuff like that, getting involved with cases and have been involved with some missing persons cases. And I don't, we're not saying they're 411 cases. And I know some of you that may be doing that work, that helping out with these cases too. completely don't believe in the 411 phenomenon. So I respect that too. But I think this is a weird world, and there's weird stuff going on for sure. So working on a motor, lurking right on Poncho Zorch. Hopefully that motor ain't giving you too much trouble. And I see Scully and Izzy Pop in the house. What up, y'all? Tingle, tingle. Yeah, Scully Pop always comes through with the ASMR vibes. Anyone like ASMR? You ever kick back and just listen to Scully Pop? Scully and Izzy, feel free to share your links in the chat. There's folks in here who might be interested on the type of content y'all share. Jet fighters launched in Anchorage. And what's interesting is that my pops the other day, he lives so behind him, he lives a little south of me in a different county, and he's got the San Bernardino Mountains right, but like in his backyard. He got a nice view of them, and he sent me a video, and it was like 6 jets, and they were taking off from over the mountain, and but they were leaving a streak like the sky farts, and yeah, uh, but it was 6 of them, and they were all like coming out and then hitting a left. So the trail it was leaving had a weird little hook to it. And he sent me that because he's always, he knows I'm always looking at the skies or for high strangeness. He's like, dude, I'd never seen this before. What's going on here? And they were taking off one after another, one after another. And I don't know. I felt like maybe it was they were spraying, and today they're actually spraying heavily. They've been spraying heavily the past few weeks. Shout out Tina C for sending me videos of the mountains as well. She sent me a view. She's got a great view of the mountains with a little bit of snow and the drier side, like we showed on those pictures earlier. Let's see. SoCal Squatcher says, I ride my motorcycle up there. So I just went up there for a little while and listened, called out nothing. But I have heard some Sasquatch activity across the road from Waterman and Buckhorn. Yeah, Buckhorn has come up. And SoCal Squatcher, I don't know if you ever got to see the thermal footage that my nephew recorded. So we had all gone out and camping for my birthday. I took my brother. We took a day off from the shop. I took my 2 nephews, which are cousins, and they're both the same age. They had not gone camping or squatching ever, and I figured let's go camping. I had seen that there is a report at a Chilau campground in 95. So I figured that's the closest place. So it's about an hour drive from here into the mountains. And I figured that's the closest place with some sort of old report. Is the report true? I have no idea, but it's a report I found online. And I actually heard from the guy who submitted the report. He's talked about it in I think we read it in Bigfoot Encounters, and there's been some other places. There's a video someone posted about it on YouTube as well, and he had tapped into the comments. He had dropped me a comment as well, but I haven't heard back from him. And I think it's Robert Martinez or something like that. It was his name. Um, and so yeah, he had that experience. It was near the Chill Out campground. There's this other little spot nearby, I believe. But anyway, we go around walking around at night. I had brought my night vision cameras and my thermal cameras, and I was letting my nephews use some of the stuff. And one of my nephews was getting hits, and we didn't know what he was seeing because he wasn't describing. But it wasn't until after we got back I reviewed the thermal footage, and I seen some wildlife, and then noticed this humanoid figure at the base of a tree. We've shared that quite a bit, but I don't think SoCal got to see that. And anyway, I did a video. We did a follow up the following week because I was excited about it. I was like, what the heck is this? And so we went back up the following week, and we were focused in an area which wasn't it. And but I have a feeling I know where it's at now. So next time we do go, and it's been over a year now, and I want to get back up there to do a reenactment of it. Get one of the guys at the base of the tree and have them do the same movements to see how that looks on thermal, and then we'll record it from about the same distance because we were on the road and this subject was in the trees, and it could have been it looked like a person, very humanoid, maybe sitting down or something like that. And at one point, they lay down and cover themselves. It's very trippy, very trippy. And there's more to all that. I've talked about it many times, and here I am bringing it up again. But I thought I should because you go up that way. It says we used to camp at Chilao when we were teenagers. Laugh out loud. Yes, I watched your video on your trip. Right on, bro. Yeah. And I heard recently someone talking about what chilaos are. I just learned what chilaos are. And I guess it's like a plant that grows quite vigorously. Someone was mentioning it way up in Washington. So whatever that is, they get it up there too. Uh, and Hillbilly knew it. Let's see. So, ta, 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 ta. Interesting. So the red jackets, the red, So the case that I was talking about, the older lady, let's see here, was back over here. And I'll just bring up this article right quick. I guess I got to bounce back over here 1 second. Keeping an eye out for any speed chase notifications also. And of course, any more reports that may pop up like it did earlier. That was still pumped up about that. So right here, is this it? Nope, that ain't it. Right here it should be. Darn it. We were on a roll pulling these things up, but got resetted now. Give me 1 second. Here it is. All right, boom. So this is the case that was near the Bay Area or in the Bay Area. So elderly woman missing from Peninsula after birthday hike, devastating partner. Yeah, so her partner was with her. And we've brought this up several times. And it's the case. Let's see, did they mention Margaret Elaine McKinley went missing from a Thursday hike from the Windy Hill Preserve in Portola Valley. What is a Portola? Sounds like portal is portal in Spanish. Una portola. I wonder what that is. Sounds kind of close to portal, but it could mean something else. I'll look that up later. But it does sound like a Spanish word. But anyway, this case it still hasn't been found. And she was wearing red, and I won't bring it up. You could find more articles on it, but this is the case. And so the reason why I'm bringing up the red trip again was because today, if you checked out Can Am missing, Mr. Politis, damn it, there's Lefty again. Lefty gunplay. Oh Lord. Scary. We don't want no smoke homes. Uh yeah, so right here, Mr. Politis is getting into a Marin County cluster, and he was getting into a cluster over at Mount Tamalpais, which I believe is also in Marin County. Fact check me on that too. Uh, and so he was mentioning a couple Point Reyes cases, which Point Reyes is like right the oceans right there. Um, and there was two ladies that went missing at a Point Reyes several years back. And I actually found National Park Service has a third lady that had gone hiking missing, but then found deceased out of Point Reyes. I don't think he had mentioned that one. And maybe because it's not a 411 case, but who knows? I think it's still worthy of checking it out. If you're bringing up mysterious deaths and disappearances from a particular area. But yeah, he also mentioned so the Point Reyes cases, and he brought another one up from Sonoma County, which is the county above Marin, and which was interesting. So it wasn't in Marin County, but because it was maybe like I think it was 8 miles away, he still kind of put it into the cluster, which is fine. I think because yeah, there shouldn't be borders with the phenomenons. Although I think maybe certain things like I'll bring up the Wendigo, Wendigo. I'll say it once. Say Beetlejuice 3 times, see what happens. Say Bigfoot Michigan Rob 3 times, see what happens. Watch out. Anyway, so I think that might be to a particular area because we heard recently during the stream someone talking about Wendigo cases. Oh, that's strike two. In North Carolina or one of the Carolinas, and which I found kind of odd. I was like, oh, I thought that was more of a northern, like Canadian and some of the northern states up that way, northeast type deal. But I don't know. I had never been up that way. And could these things and I'll say things because I called it a cryptid last time and got checked by William Nighthawk. It's not a cryptid. And here comes the second train. And I thought the ghetto bird for a second there. Anyway, so yeah, the red topic, sticking to that. So one of the Point Reyes cases, I was listening and I remember those cases, and Dave happened to mention, so this might play quick and I won't rewind it, but it's on one of the cases, and I believe it was one of the ladies from Point Reyes. He happened to mention that, uh,
And they had last seen her earlier that day wearing a red raincoat.
yeah. So I'll have to go back and get that into my notes, see which one of the ladies it was. Happened to be wearing a red raincoat also. So I was like, oh wow, that adds to like the California ones. We just mentioned two ladies. And to give you an idea, so let's see. Here I found this map quest, and this is the elderly lady that I just pulled her case or her that news article on. This is where she went missing, I believe. It's the Windy Hill Open Space Preserve. And so I'll zoom out a little bit. You can see San Francisco right here, and Point Reyes, which means Point Kings. Reyes is a kings in Spanish. Let's drop the Sqautch here and see. There's Bolinas Lagoon. I believe, is it up here? Where are you? Point Reyes. Yeah, it's right up around here somewhere. Let's see. Give me one sec. There's Sausalito, Muir Beach, Stinson Beach. And someone's probably checking me in the chat, like right there. Here we go. Point Reyes Station. So right here, Point Reyes Station. And so I don't know exactly where there's Tomales Bay. So he brings up water all the time. There's water all over the place there. But so this gives you an idea of where those Point Reyes cases are, somewhere around here, right? And so and this is it's quite a bit of distance, but yet, I mean, really not if you're talking about weird disappearances and stuff like that. Again, this one had a red jacket and had a picture right before they had gone missing, elderly lady, and then right here, obviously one of the Point Reyes cases. And I try to look up online to see if there were any articles mentioning the wearing of a red jacket. I couldn't find anything. It was just through Dave mentioning that, and I'm surprised he didn't point that out. I thought it was something that I thought maybe would be worthy of mentioning, but I don't know. I'd point this out too. I'm not saying there's any connections, but it is interesting, and maybe there is something with these particular clothing colors. What up, Jonacide? Did I say what's up, brother? Cheers to you, Daryl. What's going on, man? Glad you're in here. Thank you for stopping by and spending, everybody. Thank you for stopping by and spending a little time, energy, and some knowledge with us. Kitty Cattywhack, hi to you as well. Yeah, so some interesting things there. And let me see. Let me make sure. Let me bring up this one. So we were just talking about possible other case. I'm not saying it's a 411 case, but I did find this on the National Park Service website. And it's got some alerts in effect there. Drake's Beach, road open 10 a.m., 5 p.m. It says so body identified. And this is back in July 20th, 2021. Body identified as missing hiker at Point Reyes National Seashore. You are viewing archive content published online before January 20th, 2025. Please note that this content is not updated. Any links may not work for current information. Visit, and there's a link there. So July 20th, 2021, contact Christine Beekman. There's a number there. Point Reyes Station, California, Point Reyes National Seashore confirms that the body found on Monday, July 19th, 2021, was that of Mitra Rasti, a 58-year-old female from San Jose, California. Rasti was hiking alone when she departed from the Bear Valley Trailhead in the early evening on Sunday, July 18th. She was reported overdue by a concerned family member later that evening around 10 p.m. After an extensive search by National Park Rangers and Marin County Search and Rescue, Rosti's body was located on a beach near the former location of Ark Rock. With the assistance of Sonoma County Sheriff's Office, Henry One helicopter, Rosti's body was airlifted from the scene. Cause of death is still under investigation. And it says here, our deepest condolences. Yes, go out to the family and friends of Mitra Rosti. So weird. And so I'd like to dig into that and see if there's any other updates. Anyone ever heard of this case? Got any updates for us on this? But yeah, at a Point Reyes as well. And I don't think Dave mentioned this one. I mean, again, like I said, it probably doesn't qualify for him, or who knows. But I think it's worthy of knowing. Especially if you're going out here. I've been driven through Point Reyes, didn't quite go to the beach and all that, and yeah, I liked it. It's an interesting area, also, and we had done. I think we had cruised through Mount Tamalpais, and then taking the coast PCH north. Remember stopping in Bodega Bay and a few other spots. And yeah, it's something about Point Reyes, and they got a cool little town there too. There's a cool little what was it? It was like this shop. It had a like fine cheeses and all sorts of goodies in there, food and hmm. All right, what's next? I may have one more thing. Let's see. So I did try looking up if she was wearing a red raincoat. I did find an article that said nothing, no description on the clothing, and that was on one of the Point Reyes cases that we heard Dave mention. So I don't know where he found that, and I know he has his sources and different methods of getting his information and cases and all that. But yeah, I thought something to put in the notes. Another red jacket or red item of clothing with some of these cases, and I know there's more. We're just winging it. I haven't dug deeper, but I bet we could pull up maybe some other cases. And again, it doesn't have to be. They mentioned bright color clothing, so I'm sure your neons, and we know a lot of hunters that have gone missing. A lot of them mysteriously also, and they happen to be wearing the bright orangey colors. Mandatory, right? That's mandatory in every state, I would imagine. Safety reasons. And yeah, so another thing is so we were talking about the films, movies earlier. Steve Isdall's comments. If you're going to check that out later on what he thinks on that, and I think it's cool if you're doing a Kickstarter or whatever. If you're maybe don't have the budget to do something, but you got the vision and everything lined up, you just need the funds. And I know STM does stuff like that. They do Kickstarters over there. I don't know who else. If Can't think of anyone that comes to mind also that does that. But I enjoy all of STM's productions, and I know they need money to send their guys out into the field to go produce and bring back the goods, and I share all their stuff over here. I have not watched American Sasquatch yet. Uh, I need to. I'd like to. But I didn't get to do it yet. And so um, there's another documentary by Politis that's coming out, and it's the Missing 411 National Parks. So at first, I didn't know um, that it was going to be National Parks Washington. So I think now what I'm starting to think is it going to get broken up into like every state is going to have their version of the phenomenon and their own documentary, or because at first I thought it was just Missing 411 National Parks, and uh that was just gonna maybe cover everything, the phenomenon everywhere it may be happening, and so now I see that it's Missing 411 National Parks Washington. So just a little heads up for those that have I know they did Kickstarters for that as well, I believe, right? And I think there was got a little hairy there with the documentary with the release of the Sasquatch documentary, and then I don't know if the missing documentary got pushed back or what, but anyway, let's see. Just for your information, red is most emotional, intense color, increased physical energy, raises heart rate, and immediately grabs attention. Key emotions, anger, aggression, etc. Says Lori Ladd 1089 in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lori. What up, Patrick Noble? I usually just say Noble. How you do, sir? Get that man a shovel. What's going on? We need to. Does someone need to go, Patrick? Oh wow! All right, we've been rocking for about an hour and 40 minutes here. There's probably someone going on live tonight. Yeah, I think I kind of got through what I wanted to touch on here for the most part. Hopefully, I wasn't a rude boy. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, we like to keep the peace and love, and but it's impossible, right? It's hard. Things happen between people, and yeah, hopefully, we keep it all good in here. Yeah, it's pretty. I love the vibe in here. No one gets too crazy. We get to express ourselves here. All right, Coley at 6:20, 6:20 Central. Thank you for that. Richard says he saw red. Yeah, kind of like the matador. He uses that for the bull, right? It just what's that saying? I think there's a saying where it's like you go red or you just like see completely red, kind of like referring to a bull when it sees red, you get mad. Hiking in a muleta, a red flag. Uh-oh. What is that? Are you talking Spanish there? Is that Spanish for briefcase? Because that's how you say. Oh no, that's maleta. What do you mean by muleta? A mullet? Mullet in Spanish? What does that mean, Blazer? All right, let's see. Anything else before we head out? Are we shared some stuff there? Let's see if Coley's in the chat. We could share like we'll try and do this for Coley. Let's share a little UFO, some of Bigfoot Dwarf's UFO captures. I got some lined up here. We could share one on the way out here. One of my favorite ones. Some of you have probably seen this one also. So I was recording a drone outside of the shop, which had my attention. And I was like, I see you, drone. And of course, this could be a fast mover. And we've explained what the fast movers are many times. Dragon UFOs are also what we call them. Check out Custodian Files on YouTube if you like to go down the Dragon UFO, aka fast mover UFO rabbit hole. It's amazing. Um, so it could be a fast mover, but this one, I don't know, it stayed all kind of all white, like a little orb. And where are you? Don't tell me you're not on here. Yeah, that would happen to me. Yeah, maybe I did remove it. There we go. Let's see. Let's check this out. Press play. So it's a breakdown. Zoomed in a little bit. Oh, yeah. Yep. Zoomed in, zoomed back out. And so that object, while I was recording it, came up and did that little loop. So the drone got droned. That's right.
The drone got drone.
Yep. See that? Whoop. Did a little loop on it. So while the drone was probably inspecting me, and who knows, there's probably Big Brother or something, this other little object came up and droned the drone. And you know, this is a Citizens app notification. Excuse me. Let's see, what's it saying? We did get one of a speed chase earlier, but that did not get broadcasted on the news. And right after that police pursuit notification, it says police activity stopping freeway traffic. Heads up there, folks. And it's still kind of a traffic jam hour. So trying to see what freeway this is. Somewhere here in SoCal. Bummer. The 10 freeway at Ramona Road. So just a heads up, there's traffic. Oh, traffic is going now. It's moving. So I'm checking out live footage of this. All right, that's good news. And then we have the 10 freeway right here. I could hear it outside of my window as well. Sometimes we see speed chases go by there. Mr. MBB 333 yesterday says, Richard, what's going on there? Traitor waving a pink hand there. Who you waving at, Blazer? Oh no, Blazer, I got wrench on Coley's show, so watch out. I'll wrench you. Ooh, that's right, Lori. Get him. Watch out, Blazer. I think you got Lori after you. Let's see, P&W Rush. Wow, we appreciate that, brother, with a super, I think that's a super sticker, right? So super sticker and a super chat.
P&W Rush to the office, please. Bring Glenn with you.
Cool. We put a little hat emoji. I mean, a little cat emoji. Little hat emoji. It's time for us to head out of here. Time for a bowl. Anyway, let's check the notes right quick. Yeah, I think we touched on everything there. Posts. Only thing was I was going to read some of our comments. I've been touching base with a lot of previous comments. So heads up, you might be seeing me reply to comments from up to 6 months ago, maybe even longer. Yeah, I'll get to them eventually. And Blazer, bro. Salute. All right, let's wrap this baby up again, and yeah, let's set some dates. P&W Rush. Let's set it in stone. I'll get a hold of you. Fades has my link. We could get each other's link through her, or however. I'm not easy to get I'm not hard to get a hold of. And yeah, let me know where we should place this camera. And no, I'm not putting it there. It's a tiny little camera. And it's not to deceive the Sqautch. We'll let them know. It's like, hey, bro, we're putting this little camera here, but we got to put it somewhere cool. And Blazer, no, not a blow-up doll. Although it's a good idea. Actually, I'll take you up on that. Yeah, we could do that inside of a tent. Maybe put some sounds. Make it seem romantic. And let the cameras roll. See what happens. Much love, y'all. We're going to twist this one. Where's my outro? Yeah, we appreciate you all. Appreciate the support. Smash the likey. Let's see if the camera wants to work now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you want to work. Now you want to. Can you give us lasers? Too bad we got to throw these evil signs up to activate the lasers. No, it doesn't want it. Whatever, dude. Whatever, 360. Love y'all.